we are who we are because we live our ways of life. Without being able to do that, our hunting, fishing, harvesting, gathering, sharing, and ceremony, we would cease to exist as Native people. And it's one of those things that since colonization has been an area where law enforcement has essentially kept their foot on our neck for the last couple hundred years. And it's essentially a constant, it's a constant fight because they're constantly taking the land back. Our land, they're taking it from us in multiple different ways. And one of those ways is by extricating our sovereignty over our ways of life, by creating all kinds of legal hurdles, barriers and challenges for us to just simply live our way of life. And so our people have been amazing advocates for the last couple hundred years. And by just the sheer fact of growing and raising our people connected to who they are, that's never going to be diminished, because that is what makes us who we are. And having that connection to our lands is so critical. I would say that when I think about how people usually talk about Native people in the deficit, or in the fact that we are invisible, right?
Something else, right? Something else.
Yeah, or something else.
Mm-hmm.
What that says to me, though, is not that our people are living this deficit way of life or deficit identity. It's that we have survived everything that has been thrown at us. And that is a testament to the strength of our people. From our villages being bombed by the United States, to our children being stolen, to our spirituality and our languages being stripped from our tongues and from our hearts. Guess what? We're still here. All those statistics that most people will use to define us and to talk about us in these pejorative ways, as if somehow we're living this stigmatized life, it's all false, just like that fallacy of white supremacy. The truth is that everything that has been done to us has failed to eradicate us from the face of the earth, which was and is still largely the goal of these policies. But we're made of the air and the ocean and the waters and the lands and the animals. So when I introduce myself to people and I tell them who my lineage is, I'm telling them that that is who I am. I am the grandchild of the Kilauea people. I am a freshwater mark sockeye salmon. I come from the Raven people. I come from Kutus Hit, which is looking out to Sea House. I come from the hummingbird people. I'm a woman of the Chichkitne from Haida Gwaii. And these are what makes us who we are. And so when I think about how do we survive by knowing who we are and every day affirming it, strengthening it, and not allowing anyone else to define us, no matter what or how they try to do it. And I'm so grateful that we had these ancestors, these elders, these family members, badass aunties, to make sure that we never forget and that we constantly fight. A lot of people talk about claiming an identity as being Native. Well, what a lot of folks don't know is that you can't claim to be Native. Being Native is an action. You have to do something. You have a responsibility to your people and to your homelands. And so it's not just claiming an identity, it's actually about doing something that supports the sovereignty of your people's life. our very ability to breathe. So that's what my ancestors told us. That's what's in our blood.